The best part about being in high school is that it's like your time to explore.
What I love about high school is you get a lot of freedom.
It's high school, it's fun.
Fun?
Prom, homecoming, it's very fun.
Socially, this is a really good school. There are not many cliques. We are a very intermixed school. We get along very well.
I get really anxious about getting good grades and stuff.
If I get a bad grade on one thing, I'm crying basically.
I would say the main thing that divides kids are probably the way they dress.
The names that people put on others, like prep or jock or hick, and I think that really divides people. Everybody has their own group and everybody's known as that one name.
I'd say money is my biggest stress.
A lot of home stuff, like parents getting divorced, that causes a lot of stress.
My mom was a trucker and she was gone every day of the week except for the weekends.
Kids will say pretty ignorant things, like they'll use racist slurs, homophobic slurs.
I've heard the N-word quite a few times there.
I'm extroverted, I can talk to people. You shouldn't call me like a whitewashed Asian.
Some people do make fun of my accent. At first I was like, can you not? I will get mad, you know? But I'm just like, whatever, it's how I am.
Now everyone's on Facebook, everyone has Snapchat, Instagram, and so on. And drama just doesn't stay at school anymore.
Social media in general has been a big factor of my depression.
Being able to admit you have an issue and not be ashamed of it.
A lot of students deal with a lot of mental health problems, like depression, anxiety, and I don't think it's nearly recognized.
The pressure to be perfect.
We are trying to achieve the highest we can, that the expectation for that is higher than what we are able to.
The stress overload, it's crazy.
It's very stressful to be in high school nowadays. I mean, I don't know what it's like to be an adult, but I can't imagine that it's that much harder than being in high school.
Class, definitely. I feel like a lot of high schoolers notice this, but when you're younger, you have so many friends in the world because none of you care about how much money your parents make, or they don't care if you have to wear the same clothes every day. There's a lot of people that were friends when I was way younger, before any class mattered and stuff like that. And then when I went to high school, I would try to say something to that person and they would just act like they don't know me. They feel like they're better than me just because, I don't have all the stuff that they have, or I can't do everything that they do.
If you're categorized as a prep, you're usually wealthy. You usually have the right clothes and you have the parents and the sports and all that. But if you don't have that, you're usually categorized lower and you're not in that group.
My mom lost her job, so we have been really struggling. We don't have a lot of food. The food that we get is the food from the school. I didn't have a lot of nice clothes, they were really dumpy, and nobody wanted to be my partner or anything, and they just didn't accept me, I guess, just because of the way I look and how I dress. This year I just snapped and I didn't want any more of that. I didn't want to be treated that way anymore.
I know a lot of my friends, Mexican friends, parents work at Aviland or on farms, and so just that kind of work, it's demanding, it takes a lot on you, and there's not a lot of time you see your parents if your parents work in those kind of jobs.
Because my mom works second shift, so I take care of my little sister, and then on the weekends I try to spend time with her.
I got a job the week I turned 14. I usually work 70 to 80 hours a week during the summer and 30 to 40 during the school year.
Sometimes like high school students have this like sense of entitlement, or like they shouldn't have to work for things, and it's like that's not really the case for me. Like I feel like everything I've done to this point like I've earned, and I don't think that all high school students like really share that idea like I should work for what I have. You miss out on like the struggles of other people, and I also think that can lead to like deriding people or like belittling them because they don't have those same types of privileges.
Cell phones, internet access at home, being able to communicate socially on social media and stuff.
I have a distance learning class, and I gotta check my email and the Blackboard and everything, and I don't have a computer in my house.
I think the people who have more money are wealthier, dress better, they fit in better, they just get along with teachers, get better grades, and feel better about themselves. Especially since there's so much emphasis put on the way you look and the way you dress. And when kids don't have access to what's in, I feel like their confidence lowers.
I think it just comes down to like people who have like more money and people who have less money, because I think that kind of plays into a lot of other issues like race, or like the opportunities that you feel are available to you, or like maybe even who's depressed and who's not.
Okay, the week is done. Who's having a party? Where can I drink and get super smashed for no reason?
Just today, there were 2 kids talking in the hallway about how drunk they were last night.
I do think that half of the school has to have drink alcohol at least.
They just associate it with, oh, it's just that group who does it. Like, oh, it's just like that area. But it's almost the majority of the school who does it now. It's just not one like the gang related or anything else. It's a lot of people.
I mean, you will see a lot of very, very successful football players, while they're not on season, be doing a lot of drugs.
I see a lot of different groups, a lot of different kids drinking on the weekends, and it's not just, I can't really specify it to one specific group.
The only thing that is pretty much common throughout the school that is like, okay, well, I don't care about that is marijuana.
It's really not difficult to find marijuana anywhere.
You talk to people, you can probably get some by the end of the day.
Like for a while, that was just kind of like my stress reliever. Like whenever I'd get upset, I'd smoke for a little while and I'd be pretty chill, mellow.
I vaped, like when I've had a really stressful day. I like to make O's with it, and I don't know, I just like to watch it and it just calms me down.
Do you smoke cigarettes?
Yeah, I do. Unfortunately, I'm trying to quit.
Do a lot of kids in high school smoke cigarettes now?
Yeah, a lot.
And people should like know because it like causes lung cancer and it's proven and all that stuff. Yeah, people don't care.
I think is more dangerous, marijuana or alcohol for high school kids?
Alcohol. I am definitely 100% saying alcohol because like when people say, what drugs do you do? Honestly, I don't even really consider marijuana a drug. It does sound corny, but it's a plant, it grows, you smoke it, there's some effects. It's just like tobacco, and tobacco is okay everywhere.
I never, ever did drugs. I'm actually against them. Even when people like come to me and they're like, marijuana is fine because even though it's illegal, it's a plant, it's an herb, it's good for you. I'm just like, but it's illegal, it's against the law. And like I said, I am extremely afraid of getting punished because that's all that happened to me, and I just want to like live life without getting punished anymore.
It's like a simple lie, but parents like don't know what their kids do on the weekends.
I kind of feel like they don't understand like how much peer pressure we go through. Like, I don't know, around here, like I know a lot of people that go to parties and drink alcohol all the time. I've been asked to go to them and I turn them down obviously, but it's hard to like say, no, I'm not gonna do that, because then you know they could make fun of you for, oh, why didn't you do this or why didn't you do that? And it's hard to deal with peer pressure every day. So.
I know there's a lot of anxiety because I have anxiety really bad, and I know other people do too. Depression, yeah.
Unfortunately, right now the trend is being depressed. You'll find a lot of people posting, sometimes descriptive, depressing posts on Facebook about wanting to kill themselves, or math class was so bad today, kill myself. It kind of made me feel bad because I'm actually depressed. I have an actual problem. When you're in a sad state, one little pick will feel like a whole wound.
I used to cut. It was only for a short while, and that's when I was extremely stressful when I was going back and forth between households.
Sport in school can be a lot, and then when you add a family issue on top of that, that's like the trifecta right there, or maybe there's money issues at home.
A lot of us, what we come here to school is we put on a happy face, but what's going on at home is a whole nother can of worms, and people don't really see that.
All the stuff with my grandma and my uncle, and then on school, just everything was on top of me. Like it's all on my shoulders.
I don't know, for a while it was really hard. Like right now I'm on some sort of depression medicine. Sometimes I would just give up completely. Like I just kind of stopped trying. All my grades started to drop. I was like, there's no use, because like I'm failing this and I keep trying to get out of it, and then something else will get tacked onto it, and I won't be able to like finish one thing on time. It's like snowball effect. It starts small and rolls into a huge problem.
You know, it's just the pressure. It's expectations of people, school, your future career, judgment from others. I mean, eventually you just get to the point where you stop caring.
I don't think they understand the pressure of expectation and how much is healthy and how much is not.
I think they don't understand that we have a lot going on, not just like with school or with like homework or jobs or anything, but I think personally we're all still trying to find ourselves. Oh, like you're fine. You know, you're just freaking out. It's just your hormones. And like even if it is, I think that they should still be understanding and realize that it's how we feel.
I'm kind of socially anxious, so that kind of puts like a damper on my ability to kind of fit in with some kids. It just kind of creates sort of a hard environment to be in, like all day, every day.
I've never really been confident in myself. I don't know why. I focus on my looks and my grades too.
What about you? Do you have anyone in your life?
Not really.
So how do you handle it all?
Just keep it to myself.
And that never gets too much for you?
Not yet.
So do you feel alone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit. Just deal with it.
But you wouldn't like talk to your parents about that kind of thing?
Not really.
No, they've been through so much. I wouldn't want to worry with them.
Is that how you feel?
Yeah.
I think it should be talked about more because like we put so much emphasis on like drugs and alcohol and sex and all that, but they don't put emphasis on things like depression and your happiness and how to live a happy life. And I feel like that's so much more important because that can, if you fix that problem, it can lead to fixing a lot of the other problems. And when kids are happier with themselves, they make better decisions. I have Instagram, Facebook, Visco, Snapchat, Twitter.
I just think it's a fun way for everybody to interact. And I don't know, it's like, I guess that's another thing that's kind of a stress reliever because if you're like constantly doing things at school, like you have to go to work, it's fun to kind of just sit and like do nothing on your phone. Because people always ask like, what are you doing on your phone? Like nothing, and like that's the beauty of it.
It is good and bad for me. There's a lot of depressing influence on social media, but there are also a lot of uplifting people and posts.
I think it takes away a lot of time, and I think it's prioritized over other things when it shouldn't be, like when you should be doing homework and you're on social media.
There was a lot of drama on Facebook, just people calling out people when they really didn't need to. Things that people could say to each other in person that could just be like a two-person thing, but they have to post it online.
They also have a lot of secrets stored on their phones and like on social media, and they have like dirt on other people as well. It like allows people to, I guess, gang up on someone, and like you can't do anything about it.
If they'd get bullied at high school, they could go home and be sheltered like at home. But now that bullying still goes on. Even if you don't like post anything, people can post stuff on your timeline. They didn't like tag me in it or like put my name in it, but I knew a lot of people in the school knew who they were talking about. I think adults nowadays need to realize like that's an actual thing that does happen. And drama just doesn't stay at school anymore.
I compare myself a lot, and social media definitely doesn't help.
It makes you feel better about yourself, like when you post something and people like it. But it could make you feel worse about yourself because there's so much like celebrities and like the perfect image and everything, and I think that can bring people down sometimes.
I think following celebrities and even people from school, I feel like really self-conscious.
No one's going to put their flaws out on social media, so all you are seeing is the best of what they have to offer, and you feel like you gotta eradicate everything wrong with you and make who you are equal to like that high level where they are.
Okay, I know I'm feeling terrible about myself, so I exit out of it.
When I'm on Facebook and I just see like racist stuff or like discriminating stuff, I just like don't look at it and just do something else.
Without social media, I feel like there would be so much less stress on so many people.
Do you stress about it?
I do.
I don't stress about social media, but like when you're on there, you see the best of the best, and that can be a hard measuring tool.
I think it has more of an effect than we can actually like comprehend.
Yeah.
Just because what you see on social media really influences you in reality, no matter how much you try to not let it. You know, it's massive.
It's no longer a, you need to leave the school because you're black. It's, haha, you're black because of something, something, something.
I mean, there's people that make jokes, you know, like you would take them as a joke, but some people would make it so serious that it's bad.
They'll call them things like taco, and they'll be like, oh, we're just joking around with him, but I don't think they really see why it's wrong.
It still sounds not good at all, even though it's just a joke.
You know, Trump won, and people are like, oh, are you gonna go to Mexico now? I mean, it's kind of dumb because I'm a US citizen and my mom is a resident, and I don't think that's funny.
But for me, it's like really personal because I'm scared for my family. That's what I'm. It's just a joke.
I've heard kids say the N-word a lot. That's something that really bothers me. One of my best friends who goes to school here is black. I'm like, why would they say that around you, first of all? Why would they even say that at all? Why do they think it's okay to say that?
Freshman year, I actually had a friend, and her boyfriend would always make comments like saying I should be like in the fields, working, slave comments. There's things that people will say, and I'll just kind of want to like shrug it off, you know, because you don't want to start conflict. But who's going to stop somebody from saying a racist comment if everybody around you like thinks that's acceptable?
No one really knows like why the Hmong people are here. I mean, like some people are like, oh, it had something to do with the Vietnam War. You don't go over how the Hmong people assisted America. And people were just like, why are you guys even here? We should have like a day or something just committed to like to learning what the different cultures within the school. Typically all like the Asians, like the Hmong kids, they all hang out with each other. Like the Hispanics, they all kind of hang out with each other too. There's definitely diversity in this school, but when it comes to like your groups and people you hang out with and things you do, there's not much diversity.
You can look at the lunchroom and it's kind of like this half over here is like the group of football players and the white kids, and then like over here it's like the Mexican kids, which I mean, it's not like, hey, we don't like these guys and we're gonna sit over here. It's just, you know, everyone has their little group of people that they kind of stay with.
If you see the groups, it's just white people and then Mexicans.
It's only really evident in the lunchroom because in classrooms, we all know each other and we all get along.
If we had soccer as a sport and then a lot of the Hispanics played. And then we go out to watch their games, and they come to ours. And like, that's just a way for us to connect. It would be like a sense of community in the school.
I don't know if I would call it racism, but it kind of is. Because they're not so direct about it and they don't like call people out, but like if you're a certain race, you're like categorized.
A lot of people assume the wrong things nowadays, still, that African Americans are associated with gangs just right away, just because of their color, not even like if they listen to them.
Oh, you're black, you can't talk to the Hicks, like you can't be friends with them. They're racist, they don't like black people. I've made friends with so many of these so-called Hicks and they've had no problem with me being black, so like a lot of people just assume things that if they really took the time to like maybe ask would be easily figured out.
Why don't other people just talk to other races? Like they're not different, just because they look different doesn't mean they're different.
I feel like people should be mixed because, I mean, even if you're like a little bit out of your comfort zone, but like so you can understand other people's culture and to not like just criticize it.
This is a land of immigrants, land of diversity, freedom. You should embrace it.
It's not like I'm saying like I experience like racism on like a daily basis or I feel like it holds me back, but I mean like of course I notice it. And so, I don't know, I guess some people just don't notice it in the same way because they feel like it doesn't pertain to them. I think like people think it's like a post-racist society and it's not really the case. In the beginning, like, it always starts off like kind of awkward, like freshman year, you're still like trying to find your way. But like by the time like junior year and senior year rolls around, I would say that people are a lot more socially open.
I met great friends, new friends.
I don't think there's been any new student who has ever walked through this door that has not had someone ask, hey, do you want to sit with us at lunch, or do you want to come do this with us?
You know, you've gone through 12 years with these people in your life, and it's nice having such close friends.
I have an amazing teacher and guidance counselors that are really nice.
I'm greeted with kind teachers who know who I am, who value me as a person.
Everyone in a small town is really nice, and sports are great because you don't really have to try out that hard for a team because you're going to get on one of them.
Personally, like, I've connected with a lot of people through sports, and I feel like if we had a wider range, like, our school would grow even tighter.
I joined wrestling, and that was really fun. It was really easy to get my mind off of things.
Do yoga sometimes. That's a big stress relief for me. And then singing and being part of a theater is my way of escaping.
I honestly just listen to music.
I could be having a mental breakdown or something and listen to music and I'll be able to like calm down.
And something that always like motivates me, like everything's gonna be okay, is just being outdoors.
Go on a run, or I'll go up to a mountain with some friends.
Different lunch tables will come together and we'll all have a big fire and everyone's invited. Or,
I'll probably go to a visual arts college for film.
I want to become a neonatologist.
I want to go to space.
I want to be a criminal profiler.
Do like nursing in countries like all around the world, especially those who are like severely affected by natural disasters.
My like ultimate like dream job, I want to be a Supreme Court justice.
Kind of my hope is to like be on Broadway for as long as I can, and then like come back here and teach.
I think like growing up in this like generation or this age has really taught us you can still be friends and have completely different views.
I think a way that we can get closest by telling our story.
Where you find strength in yourself or in your life.
I don't know, I guess I really haven't found it.
Some of it's just like learning how to cope with it on your own. I also do a lot of writing, I like reading, so I guess you just find outlets to like make it work.
rely on myself a lot.
I'm kind of lost right now, but hopefully I'll figure it out sometime.
Less emphasis on what the outside looks like and more on like what the actual person is.
I'm learning that, you know, I like this person too. I love me.
I just stopped looking at all like the bad things about myself. I just looked at the good.